Welcome to our second annual Scary RV Stories Halloween edition.
But this time it's going to be more fun because we have some guests with us.
Mm-hmm. Bam.
We're here. Carl Nene.
I'm sure you know who these two are already, but in case you don't, it's Kyle and Renee, Happily Ever Hanks, aka Carl and Nene. I think they're going to be more on the Carl and Nene side.
Oh, you know it.
It is Halloween after all.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are our first ever cabin RV guests.
Yeah.
They brought their RV up a couple days ago. We're going to be hanging out for a little bit.
What we're doing tonight, guys, if you missed last year's Halloween episode where we read our viewers' horror stories of RV life, we're doing it again. How do you get your story read on one of these videos? All you got to do is be subscribed to our newsletter, because that's where we ask for your help.
And have a good story.
Well, there's that.
That's always helps.
That's always part of it.
Yeah, there's that.
What was that?
What was that? Yeah.
Chad's freaking out.
It's getting scary already.
You want to just start?
I will start.
All right.
So this first story is from Lori Moss and Traveler Wendell. That's a cool name. I don't know if it's real. They are full-time for about 9 months and had not learned enough about everything, but we did know not to leave our awning out unattended, meaning if we left the campsite, we brought it in. But if we were home, we wouldn't really worry too much. One day we were sitting inside having just finished lunch when an apparent microburst attacked our awning. If you don't know what a microburst is, it's like the clouds just throw air down and it comes back up and rips stuff apart.
Dangerous for awnings.
Dangerous for awnings. It can turn like airplanes over.
Oh.
We literally flew out the door and my husband grabbed the awning crosspiece, hanging on for dear life, all the while yelling at me to pull it in. And I was pressing the button for all I was worth, also yelling, "It's not working, it's not working." The burst quite dramatically lifted him right off the ground. To be honest, it was a very funny sight, and he later admitted it helped his sore back to be stretched like that. I feel you, man. He ended up losing his grip, at which point the awning rolled up just as sweet as you could ask for. That is when we realized that the motor mechanism that brought the awning in was the thing he was hanging on to outside, and he had been preventing it from going in by actually holding it from going in.
So he was blaming her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But luckily you held it long enough that it didn't go flying up over your RV, because that happens a lot. You guys pull your awnings in?
Oh, yeah.
We rarely ever have them out.
Knock on wood, we haven't had any issues thus far. Ever since we started RVing, we've heard too many horror stories about this happening, and we're just like very, is anal the right word about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just get them in.
No, it kind of sounds like that scene from Twister where he's like, "I can't hold it any longer" in the beginning, and they're like, and he just flies away.
Yeah. Not
That's
good.
where I thought the story was going. I was waiting for then the whole RV flew away.
Flying over the RV.
We feel for you.
We bring ours in, but we will leave our main awning out if we have it tethered using our shade, and if the forecast is for like less than 10 miles an hour. If we're in the RV, our threshold is 14 miles an hour.
His threshold is 14. Mine's my comfort zone's like 12 max.
Yeah.
You guys got it down to a science. I mean, we have woke up in the morning and saw that we forgot to put the awning in, and we were just like,
Whoops.
Yeah. Well, when we have it tethered down with our screen, it's definitely more secure that way.
All right, next story's on you.
This next one is from Richard and Melinda from Northport, Florida. My wife and I have been RVing our whole life and have never had any really bad experiences until now. We are always maintaining, washing, waxing, and servicing our camper and truck. Being a Florida resident for 6 years, originally from Connecticut, we thought we would protect our investment of our 2020 40-foot fifth wheel from the Florida sun and rain. We had an RV carport installed on our property alongside our home. It did its job, keeping the hot sun and heavy rain off of it until now. The RV horror, Hurricane Ian. Oh.
Yeah, Ian got a lot of people.
Gosh, we filled our water tanks and gray tanks for extra weight, approximately 1,200 pounds. We made sure that all the jacks were down and secure. We chose to stay in our home as we did not have a mandatory evacuation. Storm shutters were up, generator ready, gas, food, and water bought. Ian starts with rain and winds, the RV carport flexing a little. A few hours later, all the supports broke and the building was hitting the fifth wheel. Oof. Every gust of wind, it slams into the camper and there was nothing we could do about it. Some of the bracing brackets broke off and pierced the roof. We have many holes in the roof and sides. It is a nightmare. You try to protect your investment and this is what happens. We are okay. Our home had minor damage and the RV can be repaired. After all the repairs are done, we will be on the road again. I'm glad everything was okay. I know that sucks. but it sounds like you did everything that you could.
Yeah,
But-
and we're from Florida. A lot of people stay for hurricanes, especially if
Yeah.
you're further inland, because most of the damage occurs near the coast.
Yeah. If
but,
you're
you know,
if
rain
you're
is funny.
RVing in the path of a hurricane and you know it's coming, you typically have a lot of time before it hits to get out. And I mean, that would be my recommendation if you don't have a home there and stuff like that.
Yeah, and don't wait till the last minute because everybody does, and then I-75 and I-95 get jammed up.
Yes.
I bet. They probably get stripped of fuel too, huh? Like it's
Yeah.
probably hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
not just
scary.
the weather, it's all your resources and
scary.
electricity and sewer, everything goes out.
Our hearts go out to y'all out there.
But smart on filling up your tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart
For the weight.
You know, for the weight.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got a good one.
Oh.
Once upon a time. I'm just kidding. Okay, this story comes from Jessica and Lee. Picture this.
Picture it.
Funny and scary story that anyone just starting out can learn from. We have been full-time now for about 3 months. We learned that our gray tanks fill up really fast and we needed a solution while we are not on full hookups. We went out and bought a Barker Tote long portable waste tank.
That's those little blue totes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Blue poop tote is the technical term.
I like to call it the tote. Quote unquote. We are staying at an Army Corps of Engineers campground with some very steep hills that you need to go up and down while towing your portable waste tank.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
I know. Now this tote connects over the ball of your receiver hitch on your truck. The instructions say not to tow over 5 miles per hour, which I towed to a T. What they did not tell you is this, that this baby can come unhooked if towing down a steep decline while it's full.
No.
Wow. I'm like having mental pictures here. It's
Yeah.
good. So picture this.
Picture this.
Here I am minding my own business, towing this tote at 5 miles per hour down a steep incline, and I look to my left and this tote passes me, flying out in front of me and launching over a bank and slams into a tree. LOL. That's what I
That's
put.
awesome.
I'm like, OMG.
There it goes.
At least it was gray water.
Oh man.
I got very lucky that there was not a campsite in front of me, or it would have done some scary damage to the camper parked in that spot. To this day, Jessica and I still laugh about it. What I suggest you do is not only put the tote over the ball of the receiver hitch, but somehow lock it to the truck. A pintle, P-I-N-T-L-E.
I don't know what that is, but
A pintle hook receiver would be perfect for this application.
Okay.
Well,
Well.
what a story.
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
Could you imagine
the
if it
poop.
was black tank?
Yeah, what he didn't say is did the tank stay intact?
I know. I
Or
want
did
to
it
know if
explode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
What was the impact looking like?
I'm just imagining like X Games, like this tote just like sending it over a ramp and people like judging it.
Oh yeah. 9.5.
Yeah, everyone's like, great, totes my goats.
Disqualified.
My goat.
Totes my goats.
Totes my goats. Totes my goats. Totes my goats.
All right, next one coming from Donald here. I had a large trailer stolen from the RV storage area in the RV park, which I am currently living in while hunting for a house. 2 other rigs were stolen since my rig. You can prevent or minimize your exposure by doing the following to reduce your risk. Place a good hitch lock on your rig, not just a lightweight lock on your hitch. Actually, we just got one of those
Yes.
for the fifth wheel. The clap.
Yeah, the little thing that goes on the pin.
C-clamp thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just helps, so that's a good point. Use X-Trocks that lock in place. I like that. We have those bad boys too. If you have electric jacks, disconnect your battery after you have the jack in its place and your electric or hydraulic stabilizers down. If you have manual stabilizers, crank them down. Run heavy cables through the wheels. If you could use a large chain to a large pole, fence, or another trailer. Place a GPS tracking device on your roof area to better track it if it does disappear. This is a lot. These are a lot of good points.
No, this is great to share.
Yeah.
A lot of good ways to actually help prevent this.
And I reading that made me think of an idea too. If you've got hydraulic jacks and if you've installed an 80 amp breaker like we've done in ours, where it actually has a manual pop and reset, you could pop that, which takes the power away from the jacks. And a lot of these are just deterrents, right? If you look at two or three RVs and you think, well, that one's got a lock and that one's got a lock and that one doesn't, you're going to go for that one. Or you go to this one, you try the jacks and
What?
oh, it's on Daisy.
What?
It was a hot ember.
It was an ember.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, Bobo.
You almost caught on fire.
It smells like she's burning.
Well, it burned a little hair. It's gone now. It
It
was
probably didn't touch her skin.
No, it was just all fur.
You can
it was all
smell
fur.
it.
Remember
It
that?
is like a Kiss concert.
Pyrotechnics.
I'm sorry.
Back to that, as many deterrents as you can, especially if your RV is in storage.
A little off topic, but not quite. Have you guys ever thought about parking at like a Walmart? I heard horror stories. You always want to check your hitch to make sure nobody's like messing with you.
There are a lot of
Yeah.
stories I've heard online of
Really?
even at like a gas
Truck
station,
stops,
truck
yeah.
stop. Some people think it's funny. It's not.
Yeah.
To
Pull the pin.
so they'll pull the pin.
Sometimes they'll pull your emergency brake pin, or they'll pull the pin and pull your
Yeah.
pin, which can damage your truck. This next one comes from Mike and Connie Berkmeyer from North Carolina. On the way home from a camping trip to Myrtle Beach, I had a camper tire blowout. Our camping buddies behind us called on the radio and let us know, so we pulled over, changed the tire, and got ready to drive off. Kids were happily enjoying snacks in the back seat, etc. And to my horror, I found that I had left our truck in drive the whole time. Never put it in park or set the e-brake. The rig was on a bit of an uphill incline, and that saved the day along with the grace of God. Yeah, so they were just right. I bet it wasn't great for your clutch, but or your transmission to sit there.
Oh my gosh.
Could you
That's
imagine?
scary. That's
Because
scary.
if it were just a little bit further down, they'd
Bye-bye.
Well, you blew a tire, so you're freaking out, and you're like, you know, your mind is just to get over to the side and fix it. In that haste, they forgot to put it in park.
Yeah, and it's not like anybody carries around a I blew a tire checklist.
Right.
No, but it just goes to show that like in any scenario with RVing, just stop and slow down.
Yeah,
Like whether
take
it's
it
like
slow.
a simple hooking up and people are talking to you, or if it's like something catastrophic happens, you just have to be like, hold on. What do we do next?
I can drink beer now.
I like this.
I can drink beer
this
now.
is fun.
So this one is from Kevin Brownlee. He's with BJC RV Inspections. We actually met him at the recent Grand Design Owners Rally.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Kevin says he was inspecting an RV in a campground, and the guy in the camper next to me kept asking me questions as he was draining his tanks. I noticed he started flushing his black tank by closing the valve, letting it fill up, then drain it when full. So I mentioned he should set a timer on his phone to remind him when to open the valve and to not overfill. He was paying more attention to what I was doing than his flushing job. He did so on his phone and proceeded to talk and ask questions as I was trying to do the inspection next door. After some time, I became concerned and asked him to check his time. Just then, quote, water started running over the roof of his RV and down the sides. Oh crap, he shouted.
Yeah.
Like, literally. I set my phone for 4 hours, not 4 minutes.
Oh no.
Black tank flush water had filled his tank and worked its way up the vent pipe to the roof and spilled over. What a mess.
So scary.
And you know what? You've talked about this several times. People are like,
It
how
can
go up
happen
the
so easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good point.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it's got
Yes.
nowhere else to go. You've got your toilet is sealed,
Wow.
and it's got the only place it can go is up the
Yeah.
vent.
Yeah. Why, yikes.
One of the tricks I like to do that I've noticed is utilize Siri, but I'll read it to her instead of manually setting it on my
yeah.
phone. I'll be like, set a timer for 8 minutes. That way she reads it back to me and she'll be like, timer set for 8 minutes, rather than, you know, because if it said 8 hours or something,
Yeah.
then you would, you know.
I like your Siri impression. That was good.
Timer set for 8 minutes.
We got one submission from, I think I'm saying it right, Shion and Matthew. They have a YouTube channel, Broken Dreams Reborn, and they sent in a video about their horror story. Let's roll it.
Hey y'all, I'm Sean.
I'm Matthew, and we are Broken Dreams Reborn. So y'all, we were at this perfect boondocking paradise. I mean, we had these big, beautiful mountains behind us, and yeah, we even had a gorgeous, colorful lake in front of us and all sorts of wildlife. And yet, paradise always has a price.
That's right, y'all. Our bedroom, of all places, got invaded by these horseflies. They just kept coming in, and it got to the point to where I wouldn't even go in the bedroom without Matthew checking it out first. He was, you know, disposing of like 2 or 3 an hour.
They were huge.
And one morning I woke up and he said, "There's just one above your head." I was like, oh my goodness.
But the really scary thing was at night. What happened at night? Of course, this is scary stories, right?
At night, we were laying in bed and you could hear them in the wall. I mean, we had tried to plug every hole imaginable, and these things were still getting in, and they were just buzzing in the wall. It got so bad to where we slept down in the living room one night.
Y'all, it doesn't sound like a housefly. It sounds like a 747, this buzz, this low buzz, and it's reverberant because it's in like the wooden panels of the closet. We didn't know where it was. The only way to get rid of them was, number one, our trusty fly swatter. Y'all, this has seen some battle, you can tell.
Yeah.
And number two, we finally ended up moving. So they didn't come with us. They stayed in their home and we stayed in ours. And that was an adventure. And it was scary.
Yeah, it was like a horror show. Horror show.
Who can sleep like that?
I can't.
They hurt.
That's straight up.
Horseflies.
Horseflies, they bite bad.
They take chunks out of you.
And they bite fast too. They land and bite.
Yeah.
They're just
It's not
assholes.
like settle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that old scary movie, The Birds, only it's now horseflies.
Isn't it more fun to film when we have friends hanging out?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we shall start a podcast. This story comes from John. After spending a few days visiting with friends in Byrdstown, Tennessee, I headed west for Wyoming on I-40. At about 5:30, rush hour, the left rear tire and hub decided to leave me and rolled into the median and proceeded to set the grass on fire.
Oh my goodness.
Within minutes, a state trooper coming east pulled over and managed to extinguish the flames. A few minutes later, he pulled up behind me and ended up giving me a 25-mile-per-hour escort to the nearest truck weigh station about 6 miles away.
I thought he was going to say a $25 ticket for littering and starting a fire.
Thanks, officer.
The brake backing plates scraping the pavement with every bump and dip in the road.
Oh.
After spending 3 futile days chasing parts with no success, I decided to try to get to the nearest RV dealership, some 50 miles away. I had spare wheel bearings with me, and although the hub was missing 3/4 of the surface that contacts the brake shoes, as well as some of what held the grease seal in place, I figured that if I could get the grease seal in place, that it would stay. Whew. You know, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm really working hard to read all these terms. I removed the brake backing plate and broke away what was left of the braking surface of the drum and reassembled. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so there's pictures that go with this. So
Okay, cool.
You know, when you've got drum brakes, the hub and the drum outside of the brake is all one thing. Well, the whole outside part that where the brakes push against was gone.
Oh my. Oh my.
So he's putting this half of a hub back on. Apparently it did okay.
Wow.
So the rest of the story, it was on a Sunday that I limped into the RV dealership, which was closed. So I camped outside of their gate and waited for them to show up the next day. They promptly came to me and I asked them to give a damage estimate of how long it would take to fix. I forgot to mention that before the wheels set the grass afire, it rolled up under the back of the rig and tore the back wall away from the floor.
Oh no.
They came back with a $7,000 plus estimate and news that they could not get the repair work done for 3 months.
Oh.
At that point, I asked him to work out a trade-in value while I went shopping in his backyard.
Oh jeez.
This horror story had a happy ending in that I was able to continue my summer trip and was blessed enough to be able to do it in a brand new rig.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Wow.
Wow, John. I mean,
While we're at it, let's just get a new rig. I would throw in the towel too. I'm like, I'm done.
when something catches fire and rolls, you're like, that's it.
All right, this one is from Larry and Sandy Hillman. They came to our meetup at Hershey. Thank you for showing up and doing that whole line thing in the heat. Over the summer, we visited one of our favorite campgrounds in Sun Outdoors, Rehoboth Bay, aka Massey's Landing. It was a 3-night stay. The first night there was my wife Sandy's birthday. We are a few hours away and got there a bit early. We checked in and I was excited that we got down early with surprisingly little traffic. I was eager to set up and start celebrating my wife's birthday and enjoying the resort's tiki bar. I hear you, buddy. Basically having the full day to enjoy ourselves. I have a reflection fifth wheel and handle the exterior setup while wife and kids handle the inside and wrangling the dogs. I was moving back and forth, setting the shore cable after unhitching and chocking the wheels. I grabbed the X chocks ready to set them on the slide side as soon as I heard the beep of the successful auto level. I heard the beep and immediately placed the X chock like I was changing a NASCAR tire in a pit crew.
Hey, shake and bake, Cal! Woo! Shake and bake!
I began my dash for the campsite X chock in hand, taking the shortest path possible under the pin box. Oh no, oh no, I don't like where this is going.
Nope.
As visions of a completed setup were coming into view, bam! I was knocked back off my feet and onto my rear end I had smashed the top of my head on the pin box. I've been there, I've drawn blood. My daughter witnessed it and had that awkward moment of, should I laugh or be concerned? I reached up and felt my scalp, hoping to feel only a bump. No such luck, blood. I grabbed a towel, finished sitting up the outside, contemplating leaving it be or make a 30-minute trip to the ER. My decision was made when I went to rinse it off in the shower and felt it flap. So if you've got a flap in your head, that's bad. Off to the hospital, leaving my family at the resort to make the best of it while I was gone. He's just driving himself to the hospital.
We don't know.
It's a man thing to do.
We don't know. He maybe got an Uber.
Maybe. I would have drove myself, maybe. I don't know.
You probably would have.
Yeah. It's a community hospital and it was busy. After finally getting in for treatment, I was stapled up in the hallway. The nurse who helped treat me was a traveling nurse, and I was injured in an RV-related incident, so it kind of felt like I was hanging with the Hanks.
Yes! Oh, that is so awesome.
I mean, not awesome.
I mean,
but...
sorry. We love you. Of course, we're happy you're okay.
7 hours and 8 staples later, I arrived back to the campground. Lesson learned, don't rush, especially walking, or in my case, running under the pin box.
You've hit your head. I've hit my head, not like that.
You know the little metal thing that hangs down that you hook the door on? Does yours have one of those?
The latch for the
Ours
door.
is like a plastic, so it doesn't hurt as much.
So is the lesson to be learned on this one to
don't rush.
Don't rush to get to the tiki bar, because you won't get to the tiki bar.
Yeah.
But it's totally relatable. I mean, when you're in the zone, you're like, NASCAR, it's like extra, wing, 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 wing. Yeah, I know, I've been there.
Because you're feeling on fire. You're like, wow, I'm just really good
Things
today.
are going good. And then RV life, boom.
You get Jeff and Miranda.
Oh, okay. Jeff and Miranda, come on over. We were in Fredericksburg, Texas. Highly recommend visiting even after the story. Copy that. So we were in an RV park that is more in town than in the country. We had some friends come to visit and they got there after midnight and we were up talking. I, Jeff, was standing near the main door. We have a Momentum 397, and I heard what sounded like a TV on. I had been playing around with the outside TV earlier in the day in preparation to watch the Super Bowl, so I thought I had left the TV on outside. I open the door and immediately hear the sound coming from underneath the front of the RV. As I swing the door more, I see a man laying under the RV on his back, watching a video on his phone. The source of the sound. I yell, "What are you doing under there?" As he started to get up, I realized that all he had on was some white boxers. It was February and 30 degrees outside. I yell some more and he finally runs away. A quick call to the Fredericksburg police and 10 plus police cars were there in no time and they found him close by. Needless to say, we were all a little spooked. A reminder to have good situational awareness.
Wow.
Well said, Jeff and
I think it would have been
Miranda.
better if the guy was like, is this not a good place to watch videos?
Yeah, honestly.
I'm just trying to watch the Super Bowl somewhere quiet.
In his little whitey tighties.
Is it safe to say it was whitey tighties?
Whitey tighties.
Like, or white boxers?
Either one. I mean, but yeah. Oh, damn, that's no go.
That's a
the
new
first.
story.
I've
That's a
never
new
heard that
story.
before.
Naked man under the RV.
So I'm excited to read this one because I've had this story in hand for a while. So we know Stephanie and Mike Boyle. They are hop, pin, and go, and we met them several years ago in Maine. And this one just makes me laugh. Okay. Mike worked 36 hours on his duty shift the other day. Dobie had just been neutered and was a mess, so I hadn't slept either. We are normally in bed no later than 10 p.m., but we watched a movie with the kids that ran late, so it was 11 p.m. as Mike and I were just shutting our eyes. At 11:15 p.m., the speaker in our bedroom starts blasting the song Private Eyes.
Oh my.
We jump awake, turn off the speaker, all like, WTF!
I'm watching you.
And then the speaker shows, quote, BT connected Tina, and again blasting Private Eyes. Mike is frantically trying to update the software of the speaker to password protect it, needs to download the app to do so. I am trying to disconnect Tina's connection every 2 minutes. Private Eyes are watching you. Me yelling, who the hell is Tina? Mike still trying to password protect the speaker. Mike's yelling, knock this off, Tina. Now I'm paranoid that this is a distraction to steal something like our chained bikes on our site. So I am checking all of our cameras and the entire perimeter of our site, and then cuts in blasting "Private eyes are watching you" over and over again. We boot Tina. She reconnects to our bedroom speaker. After about 20 minutes, Mike gets it all squared away, and then we go through every other device in the RV, making sure everything else was password protected, which it was. Cut to this morning. I see our new seasonal neighbor next door and say good morning, and I introduce myself to his wife, Tina.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, Tina, it's so nice to meet you. Did you get your speaker worked out last night?
Oh, that's awesome.
Turns out they are super new to RVing, and this was the first time she had ever set up anything in the rig. She was mortified, and we had a good laugh about her choice of song.
This is a new challenge, I think, in the RV world. Everyone jumping on everyone's speakers and playing some music.
I mean, no matter what song blasts, it would be freaky. It would be like super scary.
All right, this one's from Julie. We were camping at a beautiful spot in California amongst the beautiful redwoods. We need to go there. Until one morning, we found that we were being dropped on from the trees. It turned out to be termites. They drop out of trees? After already dealing with the termite issue in our bedroom and our home, we were definitely freaked. So check the trees around your campsite. If white starts to fall from the sky, it may not be snow.
And I have never heard of that before. So
We've had sap.
Yeah, I just thought that that was a good thing to share because that's just not something that you would think. Like you would just think maybe little leaves are falling or something, right? But
Well,
Probably loud thuds.
we've been in South Carolina where caterpillars were like raining from
That's
the trees.
right,
And
yeah.
it sounded like drops of rain. That's how many were falling.
That's how many were falling?
Yes.
They're
Did
loud.
they just crawl
They were
down
loud.
the sides? What were they
Yeah,
do?
I mean,
They were everywhere.
It was infestation, I guess.
All over the
of caterpillars.
tires, and everyone was saying like it was a specific species of caterpillars, and we were like, oh, this is cool, and everyone's like, that's not cool because they're
Yeah,
invasive.
they're invasive.
Like-
so is that the horror story or do you have another one?
Well, we have a few, don't we?
Yeah, we got a lot, but you should tell them that really scary one.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with it, and then we'll see if this works. One time we were staying at a Boondockers Welcome. If y'all are out there rocking the Boondockers Welcome or the Harvest Hosts, those are the places to be. Yeah. But you know that like sometimes you pull in for a little quick overnight stop, and then get back on the road nice and early, and that's exactly what we did. So we pulled over, and I unhooked the 7-way pin from the back of the truck, just so our battery wasn't getting depleted from the actual truck battery. And we woke up the next morning and we didn't do our checks because we're
we
already
didn't
hooked
unhook.
up.
We were
Yeah.
hooked up. We didn't disconnect.
Right, exactly. And we were thinking, well, it wasn't that we were trying to take shortcuts. It's just like in our minds, like everything seemed to be copacetic. We're like, we're good. Let's just hit the road.
Well, when you don't do all the steps, your routine gets all out of whack.
Muscle memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we went driving and we were driving, well, we were, what was it, through Texas or something?
Arizona.
Luckily.
Yeah.
And we were driving for, I'd say, a good hour and a half or 2 hours. No brakes on the trailer.
No lights.
No turn signals, no lights, no nothing. So anytime we were braking, it was strictly the truck doing all the braking.
Man.
So we cannot emphasize enough, just do your checks, take your time, and just, even though you think things are good, just double check it.
Yeah.
That could have gone.
That could have been really bad.
Could've been really
I
bad.
was driving too, and I was like wondering why
It was such
when
a
I hit the
lag.
brakes, it was taking a little bit longer to slow down.
Yeah, we have our hitching checklist that we will use and make sure the 7-way, the emergency brake, and the pin lock.
Good one.
That's a good.
I
That's
like
good.
that.
We're gonna. You write that down.
Follow these guys.
Take notes.
I'm gonna write that down.
This story comes from Jeff. Jeff says, "This wasn't a horror for us as much as it was for others involved. A few years back, a couple friends got together for a big summer camping trip. One night, we were all sitting around the fire as usual, and around 1 to 2 a.m., we heard a loud crash, clatter, boom. We jumped up, grabbed our flashlights to see what happened. Soon, other campers started emerging from their trailers. When we finally found where the crash came from, we couldn't help but be amazed and couldn't stop laughing at the same time. A pop-up trailer nearly had flipped with the tongue standing straight up in the air and the rear bed smashed into the ground. What? There was a couple inside that obviously forgot to properly secure the rear stabilizers before they started getting frisky. They were okay, but rightfully so, declined any help.
That's amazing.
They're like, I got no pants on. The couple with the pop-up were all packed up and gone before 6 a.m.
That is funny.
Hey, I mean, you just gotta own it sometimes.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, but you know, hey.
Once again, not a horror for us, but can you imagine being in that situation when the trailer was a rockin'? Yikes.
Oh, man.
That would definitely be a bit scary. Wow, that was a great one.
Funny.
Since being at the cabin, have you guys had any like good horror, scary cabin stories?
I don't know if we should. I don't know if we should say, because then you guys might not want to be here.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, we love those
Then we'll
kind
be
of
gone by
stories,
6 a.m.
By 6 a.m. We did not have a run-in type of scary story, but we saw something really spooky.
On our Ring security cam, the one that's right back here.
We'll show you.
I told you he was real.
Bigfoot is real.
We're just gonna go.
You saw it, folks.
I mean, he seemed like all he wanted was a beer. So you know, I mean, just if we just sit a beer outside at night or something.
That's why you left
A
hot
little
dogs in
decoy.
here.
I like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he's a friendly Sasquatch.
Okay.
We've gotten to know him personally now.
He's a good guy.
That was a load of fun. We hope to do this every year, I think. This is kind of fun hearing everybody's stories.
I think that we could probably make a part 2 and a part 3 and maybe a part 4 because we got so many stories. And so we are so sorry if you sent us your story and we didn't get to read it. It's not because we didn't like the story, we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
And so if you're interested, let us know. If you want us to read some more and put out another video, we can do that. Maybe we can convince these two to do it too. And otherwise, we could maybe put it in a blog post or something.
Yeah, check out the blog post. We'll have that linked down below. We'll also have Carl and Nene's.
It's confusing. I don't know.
Everyone's confused.
Do I call you Kyle and Renee or do I call you Carl and Nene? I don't know.
It's so
We
hard.
will have their channel, Happily Ever Hanks, linked down below. So be sure to check those guys out. They're crazy.
They're crazy in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes, crazy in a good way. And once again, our first guests at the cabin, which is pretty cool.
Pretty
So
excited.
excited. Thanks for having us.
But
Yeah, thank you so
little
much,
did they
guys.
know, like staying at our cabin means that you are required to do some filming with us.
Also means that there might be like Sasquatch
Did you
walking
hear
around.
that back there though? It did sound like something
Yeah,
big.
that's right
So
up.
spooky.
Guys, help us.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good job. You earned that beer.